For the White Sox, the ninth inning for the last 2 days has been anything but quiet. They've scored 5 runs each day, and last night it was enough to overcome a Seattle 4-3 lead and win 8-4. They were down to their final out when John Cangelosi's single scored Ozzie Guillen to tie the game at 4, and then Carlton Fisk 2-run double to put the Sox ahead to stay. They were RBIs 3 and 4 that night for Fisk. Tonight, it's Game 2 of the 4-game series live from the Kingdome in Seattle. The Sox 32 Sports Network presents Chicago White Sox baseball. Live from the Kingdome in Seattle, Washington, it's the Chicago White Sox and the Seattle Mariners. The starting pitchers tonight for the White Sox, Joel Davis. For the Mariners, Mike Moore. And good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Kingdome. I'm Don Drysdale along with Frank Messer. Happy that you've joined us tonight. Game 2 of the 4-game series, and the White Sox, well, they won a thriller last night. Down 4-0. They battled back, made it 4-2, 4-3. Finally, they tied the ball game and ended up winning, and it looked like a large score if you picked up the paper today, Frank, by a score of 8-4. But they have definitely come back in the ninth inning the last 2 days, and that is a promising thing.
Well, it certainly is, and most promising last night, I think, was Kittle breaking out of his slump, getting a base hit to lead off that ninth inning. Cangelosi, a key base hit, and the big guy, Carlton Fisk, as you mentioned, 4 runs batted in on the ball game, including the winners. And Joel Davis will hope that they can give him that kind of hitting support tonight.
Well, Joel Davis, in the last couple of starts, he's been struggling a little bit, and hopefully, he can get things straightened away right here at the Kingdome.
Well, that's very true. In fact, Joel, his last 3 starts, has pitched a total of 11 innings. Last time out, only 5 innings, 105 pitches, so he's got to pick that up.
Well, you've got 2 young right-handers out there that can beat you any night, any day, if they're right. Moore and Davis will give you the starting lineups right after this commercial timeout.
This Chicago White Sox game is brought to you in part by Budweiser, Beechwood aged for that distinctively clean, crisp taste that makes Budweiser the king of beers. For all you do, this Bud's for you.
Hi, blew a little smoke ring. Cute. I used to be able to do that. Yeah. Let's check the Sox starting lineup for tonight's ball game. John Cangelosi will be in center field and lead things off. Carlton Fisk will catch and bat second. Harold Baines plays right field and hits third. Greg Walker, the cleanup hitter, at first base. Jerry Hairston will be in left field tonight with Ron Kittle, the DH. Tim Hewlett at third base. Ozzie Guillen, yes, he will start at shortstop tonight. And Julio Cruz will be at second base. On the mound for the Sox, right-hander Joel Davis, a record of 3 wins and 3 losses. Davis has pitched in 12 games, all starts. He has 1 complete game to his credit, 75 innings pitched. He's walked 40, struck out 46, and has an earned run average of 4.30. He'll pitch to a Mariner batting order of Harold Reynolds at second base, John Moses in center field, Phil Bradley in left, Alvin Davis at first, Jim Presley at third, Ken Phelps, the DH tonight. Dave Henderson will be in right field, Spike Owen at shortstop, and Bob Kearney takes over the catching duties with Steve Yeager resting. On the mound for the Seattle Mariners, Mike Moore, right-hander with a record of 3 wins and 6 losses for the season. In 13 starts, 3 and 6, and an earned run average of 4.13. He has pitched 98 innings. He has 5 complete games to his credit. He has walked 44, make that walk 35, and struck out 51 men. The plate umpire tonight is John Hirschbach. Rocky Rowe at first base, Nick Bremigan at second base, and Larry Barnett, the crew chief, will call the plays at third. Bremigan, out of action last night with a stomach virus, is back in uniform and working tonight and feels much better. Thank you. John Cangelosi set to lead things off for the White Sox as they try to make it 2 in a row indoors here at the Kingdome. And all set to tell you all about it, ladies and gentlemen, here's Don Drysdale.
Thank you very much, Frank. And once again, good evening, everyone. John Cangelosi to lead it off. He'll be followed by Fisk and then Baines. Mike Moore ready to go to work. And first ball hitting, Cangelosi bounces to Reynolds, who throws him out. 1 pitch, 1 out. And that will bring on Carlton Fisk. Checking the Mariner defense, you will have Presley at third with Owen at short, Reynolds at second, and Davis at first. And the outfield, Bradley, Moses, and Henderson from left to right, and the battery of Kearney and Moore. Now here's Fisk getting 222, 4 home runs, 30 RBIs. Carlton, big night last night as he drove in 4 with Baines on deck. Now the infield straight away, the outfield the same, and Moore ready to go to work. And delivers low. The count 1-0.
Carlton had the game winner last night for the 3rd time this season with his double in the 9th, scoring Bradley and Cangelosi.
The 1-0 pitch to Fisk. That's cued foul right side. 1-1 the count.
You know, Don, we talk about the big guy, Fisk, getting the base hit there to win the ball game. Very, very true. But one of the little guys, Cangelosi, had a base hit in the inning to keep the inning alive.
Well, that's it. It had not been for John Cangelosi right there and out, and the ball game is over, and the Sox lose 4-3. They appeal. They say no. And we'll check the Sox coaches. You have Joe Nossick at third with Eddie Brinkman at first. The count 2-1 with 1 out. Fisk has 7 hits and 7 RBIs in his last 3 ball games. That's hit hard and foul deep left side, way back up and in the second deck, bouncing down to the lower deck and all the way back down to Phil Bradley in left field. There's Baines on deck.
That looks like Moore came in on Fisk with that last pitch. Carlton turned on it and pulled it well foul.
So the count 2-2. Struck him out.
Well, we'll take a look at that last pitch. Low out of the strike zone, breaking down, and Carlton swung over the top of it.
Here's Harold Baines. Harold hitting .305. He has 10 home runs, 42 RBIs. 2 outs and the Sox first. Taken low, the count 1-0. Harold is hit safely in 9 of his last 11, 14 of his last 17. He's had home runs in his last 2 ball games. Off speed pitch taken outside, the count 2-0.
Put a little icing on the cake last night with that 9th inning home run.
Ooh, boy, that got out in a hurry.
Yeah, following Fisk's double.
Now you see Greg Walker on deck. High to left, Bradley coming to the line, lots of room. And the Sox are going 1-2-3 in the first inning. And after the first half inning of play, it's the White Sox nothing and the Mariners coming up.
And Joel Davis ready to take on the Mariners. Joel is making his 13th start of the year. He has pitched 1 complete game, 3 wins, 3 losses. He's allowed 76 hits in 75 innings, walked 40, struck out 46. There are the figures. And Davis, as we mentioned, his last 3 times out, he has not pitched that well, although he has picked up 1 win in his last 3 outings, 1 win and 2 losses. Sox defenses with Hairston in left, Cangelosi in center, Baines in right, Hewlett and Ginn on the left side of the infield, Cruz and Walker on the right side. Fisk will do the catching. As we mentioned, Davis in his last start, that was against Oakland. He got a win, but it was not a pretty win. He threw 105 pitches down in 5 innings.
And he will face Harold Reynolds here in the bottom half of the first inning. It'll be Reynolds, Moses, and Bradley. And the first pitch outside, the count 1-0. balls and no strikes. Reynolds hitting .250 without a home run. He has 8 RBIs. Hewlett up inside the bag at third. Cangelosi playing well over into left center. And there's the strike in the count, 2-1. Your Mariner coaches, Ozzie Virgil over at third and Darren Johnson at first. Down ball to Walker, and he'll go to the bag and do it himself. 1 away. And that'll bring on John Moses. Moses at .250 with a home run and 7 RBI. Now you're talking about Davis in his last 3 outings against Toronto, Texas, and Oakland. He's gone, as you mentioned, at the top 3 2/3, 2 1/3, and 5. Right there, that equals 11 in 3 starts. He has a win and 2 losses. Moses can't get that fastball, and the count is 0-1.
Prior to those 3 starts, Davis had 2 excellent outings, 9-inning complete game 1, and then he went 9 innings in the 17-inning loss against Kansas City.
There you see the Mariners are 1-8 on Friday the 13th. And it's 0-2.
What is that word for the figure 13? Triskaidekaphobia? Those who do not like the figure 13 are triskaidekaphobiacs. Is that right?
I have not heard that.
I haven't either. I just made it up. But the Mariners are triskaidekaphobiacs. That's not dirty.
0-2 the count. And that's it, foul. Look out. To the Sox bullpen. Little ball girl down there went to play that off of the carom, off of the wall, and almost got picked off. There's Bradley on deck. Now Davis out in front, 0-2. Outside, and the count 1-2. White Sox starting tonight at 25 and 33. There's still that 8-game difference to that 500 mark. 8 games behind Texas. The Mariners a record of 22 and 39. They are 12.5 back. A ball and 2 strikes. Ground ball. Hewlett bobbles. Now picks up, throws low. They get him. There's that carpet hop right there. And Walker stayed with it.
Let's check it again on the replay. You'll see Hewlett dribble this ball before he gets a handle on it. Right there. Now the dribble. Pick it up. Hurries his throw. Skips it in to Walker. And a nice pickup by Walker. Another angle on it. He's got it. He doesn't. He's got it again. One hopper to Walker. Close play at first base. Moses out. 2 down.
And it will bring on Phil Bradley. Well, there's the kind of throw that Davey Concepcion with Cincinnati started. Bradley down the right side. That is slicing foul. And the count is 0-1. Bradley fighting a little 0-for-8 streak. Hitting .241. He has 2 home runs and 7 RBIs.
Tell me more about Davey Concepcion.
Well, he started that ball over in the hole, and he'd go over there instead of trying to make that long throw in the air all the way across. Why, he'd skip it across.
Even on grass?
Not on ground, the surface. On the artificial surface. There's a broken bat looper. Walker giving chase, and he'll not be able to catch up, and Ozzie Guillen will go pick up some firewood for this winter.
Yeah.
Alvin Davis on deck.
Just looking here at the top 4 men in the batting order for the Mariners. Last night they went a combined 1 for 16. Sox pitchers handled the top of the batting order very well.
0-2 the count. Up high, the count moves to 1-2. 2 outs, no score, and we're in the bottom of the first inning.
In fact, you can go back a little further. 12 ups against Cowley last night. The top 3 men in the batting order, Reynolds, Moses, and Bradley, did not get the ball off the infield.
There's a bouncer. Hewlett backs up on the big hop. Long throw, and this time it skips by. Bradley going to second. Cruz going over, and it skips by Gee, and he says, I'll handle it. Get back to where you are. Now that time the ball did not skip on the carpet. It skipped on the dirt, and you get a different hop.
Well, let's check it again on the replay. You'll see Hewlett back off on the ball right there. Over the top throw, and it hits in the dirt and skips by Walker. Look at it from another angle. You always, I think, an infielder has trouble when he backs off on that ball. He tries to hurry the throw, threw it in the dirt, skip by. Now Cruz recovers quickly, fires it on to second base. Hits the runner going in, bounces away from Guillen, but Ozzie runs it down, and into second base Bradley. I think he ripped up his uniform pretty good with that head-first slide. Maybe he didn't rip it up, just pulled the snaps loose as he went in.
And that'll bring on Alvin Davis. Well, what happens a lot of times, whether it's Timmy Hewlett or whoever, that'll be an air charge to Hewlett, especially the third base. When they get in that position, it's sometimes even at the hole in short. The infielder will have a tendency to drop down. There's a shot, center field. Cangelosi is right there, makes a catch. So the side is retired. No runs, no hits, an error, and a man left, and after one, no score.
Well, let's look at the schedule in the American League. Milwaukee at Boston, Kansas City at California, and Detroit at Toronto. The fog, I guess, is lifted up in Toronto. They can play that ball game. Ended last night when a home run ball disappeared in the fog. Minnesota at Cleveland, New York at Baltimore, and the Texas Rangers are in Oakland. National League, the Cards and the Cubs for a doubleheader. Pittsburgh and New York, and Montreal to Philadelphia. Cincinnati, Atlanta, San Francisco at Houston, and the Dodgers and the San Diego Padres. Right here we have no score as we go to the second, Don.
And Walker standing in with the count 1-0. He'll be followed by Hairston and then Kittle. And hit off the fist, but it'll be a foul ball. Just foul. Just outside the line.
As Gray comes back to try it again, we'd like to send along a big White Sox welcome to all our affiliates. WYZZ TV in Bloomington. Here it is again. Let's see how close that ball is, just by inches. Well, you've got a good eye there, Mr. Drysdale. I thought that ball was right on the chalk line. Mr. Drysdale called it right away, foul ball, and no argument from anybody. We also have WRSP TV in Springfield, WQRF TV in Rockford, WXIN TV in Indianapolis, WAYK TV in Palm Bay, Florida, KLJB TV in Davenport, Iowa, and our flagship station, WFLD TV, Fox Incorporated in Chicago.
And the next pitch to Walker, taken low, the count 2-1. Greg hitting .298, 7 home runs and 19 RBIs. Foul left side and out of play. And the count is 2-2.
Cute little camera shot out there if we could get it. The sun is shining into the Kingdome. Just out to the behind second base over toward right center field. You ever seen the sun shining in the Kingdome?
And that door out in deep left
Oh, you
center.
ruined it all now.
Well, no, it can't be. Now it left, so it had to come from some other place. Come over down the left field line. There's a looper down that left field line, foul, and Presley won't be able to catch up to it. But it is something to sit in here and look out through those doors out there. There's one in deep left center field, and there it comes again through down the left side.
There's the door open, and the sun is back. There's a little sunspot. You know, you could get the sun in your eyes inside the Kingdome. Might help.
The weather has just been beautiful. There's a bouncer hit to Davis. He underhands to Moore. One away.
I was out here in Seattle. I don't remember what year it was. It was in the current regime, the Seattle Mariner regime, although I was out here also with the Seattle Pilots in '69 when they were here. But I came in here and they had an all-time record 3 days of heat. I think it was 97, 98 degrees 3 days in a row, and they said that broke all records. But today and yesterday, you could not ask for nicer weather, could you?
Oh, it was beautiful.
Just lovely.
Here's Jerry Hairston hitting .229, 2 home runs and 9 RBIs. Takes low and the count 1-0. And the count 2-0. Now we certainly, I would like to pass along, and I know you do too, Frank, because you've had a lot of association with Gene Michael, former teammate of mine, and now the new manager of the Chicago Cubs, and we congratulate him and wish him well.
Certainly do. I had very fine association with Gene Michael in his days with the Yankees. Now there's a man, Don, who has held every possible position in the game of baseball, I think.
3-0. See if this is automatic. Just outside, and it's ball 4. Moore wanted it, and so did Kearney. Hirschbeck said no.
Gene Michael has been a player at the minor league level and the major league level. He has been a coach. He's been a scout. He has been a manager on the field. He's been a general manager. I don't know of any position in the game, really, that he has not at one time or another held.
Well, he's back on the field right now. Here's Ron Kittle hitting .189. 1 ball and no strikes to count. On deck, Timmy Hewlett, as Harold Reynolds comes in to talk to Moore, and he might just want to double check on the signs that they're using.
When Kittle got a base hit, you look at Hewlett on deck. When Kittle led off the 9th inning with a base hit that led to the game-tying run last night, it was only his 2nd hit in his last 28 at-bats, but it was at a very opportune time.
Fouled right side, and the count 1-1.
You know, great thing about the game of baseball, Don, when you come from behind late in the ball game and win it, there are so many key things you can talk about. By the same token, when you lose a 1-run ball game, you can go back, as you and I were talking about on the plane the other night, and pick out so many reasons why you could have, how you could have won that game.
Boy, that is true. That is out of play, and the count 1-2.
Last night was more fun.
Well, when the Sox show you their record this year, when they've been trailing after 7 innings, their record is 5-24, and when they're trailing after 8 innings, they're 3-27. So that'll show you right there they have not come back hardly at all. Bouncer foul, and the count remains at 1 ball and 2 strikes. On the other hand, when they have been ahead after your 6 innings, they're 15-5. After 7 innings, they're 16-6, and after 8 innings, they're 19-2. It behooves them to take a lead down low. 2-2 the count, as those numbers will verify. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Tony La Russa down in the Sox dugout. Ozzie Guillen on the right, Fisk on the left. Two and 2 the count, 1 out, no score, top of the 2nd. Texas has taken a 1-0 lead at Oakland in the 2nd inning, and Kansas City has jumped on California 4-0 there in the 2nd inning. Struck him out. Cleveland over Minnesota 11-2, and Detroit over Toronto 10-5. Boston over Milwaukee 5-3.
Well, there's the last pitch, and again, that ball moving down. Good sinker there from Moore, and he had Kittle, I think, swinging at a pitch that may have been low out of the strike zone. The 2nd strikeout to go with 1 walk.
And it'll bring on Timmy Hewlett. Tim hitting .281. He has 3 home runs and 16 RBIs. 0-1 the count. You know what's amazing when you look at Mike Moore, a record of 3-6 in those 5 complete games. And evidently they could have been some tough losses.
Yeah.
ERA of 4.13, making his 14th start of the year.
Well, he's a workhorse. He goes out there. You got a chance to send your bullpen home for a night. That's great to have a pitcher like that on your staff. He had 14 complete games last year out of 36 starts, 35 starts.
There's a high chop for Owen. Short way to second. They get the force, and the side is retired. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a man left after 1.5, no score.
Now to attend a White Sox game with a group of your friends. Sox baseball is always more fun when it's enjoyed with a group. Call the Sox Group Sales Office during regular business hours, 924-1000, for information on group discounts, private parties, and fundraisers. That number again, 924-1000, and they'll see that your group gets the best seats in the ballpark.
And Jim Presley will lead it off. He'll be followed by Phelps and then Henderson. Presley, coming into tonight's game, a 7-game hitting streak. And takes his strike with a breaking pitch, 0-1. Now, you were talking about, and I was talking about, Mike Moore, and you mentioned how he's the kind of guy that you could send your bullpen home for that evening. He'll go out there and go 9 for you. Talking to Dick Williams today. Prior to the game, you could leave today or tonight off. They could go home for the month of the year after last night's performance.
I'll tell you, that was something, wasn't it?
He was livid. High, way back. Hairston to the wall. This ball is gone.
Well, there's the first hit of the ball game. Home run number 12 on the year for Jim Presley. And the Mariners are out in front 1-0. Let's look at it again. Got a fastball, and he drilled it. Hit just as hard from that angle. You'll see Hairston go back to the wall, flatten himself there, and just watch the ball go. That's it. It's about 3 or 4 rows up in the seats in left field, and the Mariners have a 1-0 lead.
And that'll bring on the designated hitter, Ken Phelps. And don't go to sleep on this man. He's hitting just .218, but he can lose it in a hurry. All of a sudden getting a chance to, get back in that lineup a little bit. 9 home runs, 17 RBIs. And those 9 home runs coming in 78 at bats.
That tells you something right there about his power, doesn't it?
I have sat here and watched him put on some of the doggonedest exhibitions in batting practice. That's low, and it's 3-0 with Dave Henderson on deck. And don't take this for granted. Dick Williams will not play by the book, and that is just about etched in stone. You saw that last night. We talked about it before it ever happened. They had the squeeze bunt. And I said, don't be surprised if he does it again, except the Sox pitched out right on another attempted squeeze play. 3-2 the count. Ken Phelps knows one thing. He will turn that bat loose. Somebody told him that, I'm sure, as a little boy, and he has remembered that well. of course, as we said last night, you don't have to hit them a long way here at the Dome. 316 down each line. 410 to straightaway center. Walks him. And that'll bring on Dave Henderson. Henderson coming into tonight's game with a 6-game hitting streak. He has hit safely in 13 of his last 14, hitting .253, 10 home runs, 25 RBIs. With Spike Owen on deck. Now Phelps at first. Anderson pops it foul. That is coming over by the Sox dugout, and it'll be back in the seats.
They got to follow those balls over there, though, Don, because the speakers hang here, and if a ball hits one of those speakers, deflects back, falls down, it's playable. It's catchable.
That's right, and they can get up and they can hit that speaker on that side. On the two sides where the dugouts are, those things are definitely reachable.
Oh, yeah.
Owen won the count. Outside, the count 1-1. Outfield playing Henderson slightly to hit to the opposite field as he checks with Ozzie Virgil. There you see Harrison. He is deep. Cangelosi slightly in right center. Baines slightly to the line in right. Infield straightaway. And the curveball high. The count 2-1.
Henderson's two-base hit in last night's ball game was to the right side of center field.
Two and 1 the count. There's a line drive up in the air. Cruz and takes a base hit away from Henderson. I think he jumped too soon. That fooled him.
I will take a look at it again here. Cruiser really jumped and then had to extend even past there. But he hauled it in. Last night, as I recall, the two-base hit by Henderson, Cruz just got a finger perhaps on it. But the ball went on through.
Here's Spike Owen hitting .254. He has a 4-game hitting streak. Without a home run, he has 12 RBIs. And Bob Kearney, the catcher, on deck. Ken Phelps at first. It's 1-0 Seattle. We're in the bottom of the second inning. Well, that time right there, Henderson got that ball out on the end of the bat. And I think Julio thought it was going to come at him a lot harder. And what it does, it almost had to hang there in suspended animation and make the catch.
That's right, because his body was going back down, but the arm had to go stretch out and pull it in.
And you put the extenders out.
Amazing how those arms can grow sometimes. 3-4 inches.
Especially when they shorten up when you're reaching for a check. There it is. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Pockets get deep.
Short arms, deep pockets, huh?
Yeah.
1 ball, 1 strike. There's a shot. Good play by Cruz, and they bobble the ball. Well, we'll see how they score it.
Everybody's looking up at the scoreboard to see how they're going to score it.
See whose fault it is.
There's a hard shot. Great play right there by Cruz. Now he sort of sends a knuckleball off the fingertips of Guillen covering at second base. Looked like Guillen might have closed his glove on that one. If we get a closer look right here, Cruz sort of shot put it to him, trying to get the play there after making a really fantastic stop. They're going to score that one by committee.
I think so. They're fortunate that Cruz did stop that ball, because Cangelosi was so far in left field, that ball would have gone all the way to the center field wall. What did they give him? A base hit? A what?
Base hit.
Oh. How in the world can you give him a hit? Bob Kearney takes up high.
Well, you call your committee together and take the vote, which they obviously have done.
Well, I'll tell you, I've seen some scoring this year. Well, not only just recent, the last few years. I mean, it is unbelievable.
Well, now you're not going to be like Frank White, are you? See
no,
Frank White
I don't know
said?
what Frank. Oh no, what Frank? No. I mean, that has got to be an error.
Once Cruz catches the ball, you're right.
That's down low, and the count 2-0. Let's look at that again. Now, Phelps, all he's got to do is toss it to Gee, and that's where it is. Ozzie just didn't catch it. It was going to be a little tough play for Ozzie, because he was coming hard at the bag. Somewhere along the line, that has to be an error on one of the two. But they say, what the heck. Give him a base hit, and as Dave Duncan goes out to the mound, he wants to talk with Fisk and Davis.
Well, maybe they couldn't figure out which one to give the error to, and just said, well, let's make it a base hit, and that takes care of everything.
Well, that's all right. That's all right.
Now everybody's happy, except for the pitcher.
And Dave Duncan. Davis he's had some problems lately. He's had some all of a sudden control of Joel Davis from what we saw at the start of the year till the last few starts has gone south on him. Trying to find it.
Like we mentioned, his last start, 5 innings, 5 runs, 8 hits, 4 walks, 4 strikeouts, and 105 pitches in those 5 innings. Now he was 3-2, 3-2, 3-2. A lot.
And right here, he's 2-0 to Kearney with Phelps at second and Owen at first. Phelps at second, Owen at first. Cruz trying to sneak in behind. That's outside on a breaking pitch, and it's 3-0.
Well, certainly Kearney is a man he doesn't want to walk. The man is not going to hurt you that much with the bat. He does not run that well. You got a ground ball, you got a double play, you're out of the inning. You walk him, you got to go back up top to Harold Reynolds, a much more dangerous hitter.
And he does walk him. So the bases are loaded with 1 out. And that'll bring on, indeed, the leadoff hitter, Harold Reynolds. And the bell rings down in the Sox bullpen. Right-hander Dave Schmidt gets up, and he will start to toss. Now, Harold, you've got the left fielder, Jerry Hairston, shallow to the line in left, Cangelosi way over in left center, and the big gap in the alley in right center.
I'll tell you something, if he pulls this ball, it's going to look like the Boston Marathon. Everybody's going to be running.
It'll be the relay team. And he's not a bad anchor man. He has 15 stolen bases on the year. And he takes a strike, and the count is 0-1. They put the collar on Reynolds last night. He did not get the ball out of the infield. He was 0 for 4 with a strikeout in there. And tonight he has bounced already to Walker, who has come in even with the bag. Hewlett, he is even with the bag at third. There's a high fly ball hit into shallow left center. Tagging is Phelps. Cangelosi with the catch, and the throw will be cut off.
A very, very big out right there for Joel Davis. I don't know what the byplay vocally is between Cangelosi and Baines. Saw Cangelosi with his hand up to his ear, asking Baines say it again, and then the big grin.
Now here's John Moses. You see his first career home run was against the White Sox in 1985. This year, John has one more. He had one in 85, the first one against the White Sox. He's had one here in 86 with 7 RBIs to go with the 250 mark. Bounced to Hewlett his first time at bat. Now the bases remain loaded, and it's still 1-0 Seattle. There's a line drive, base hit center field. That's going to score one, and now they might hold the runner. Nope, they're going to come across as they get him at home plate. So they run themselves out of an inning, but they pick up a run, and they lead it after 2-0. Well, on Sunday, July 6th, the Sox take on the New York Yankees, and the first 15,000 kids 14 and under who attend the game, they'll receive a free replica White Sox jersey, compliments of Coca-Cola. For tickets, call 559-1212. Use your charge card or stop by the ballpark. After 2-0 Seattle. Along with Frank Messer, I'm Don Drysdale. Happy you've joined us tonight. It's the second game of this 4-game series. 2 more to go. And right here, we go to the third. And to call it for you, here's Frank.
Okay, Don, thank you very much. And here we go with Ozzie Guillen, batting .233, a homer and 16 RBIs. Guillen appeared last night as a pinch runner in the ball game. In the air center field, Moses makes the play. Boy, that ball started to take off. Moses had him played shallow, but he ran it down.
Now that's as high as John Moses could jump. That ball really started to take off on him. He got a good jump and then timed everything perfectly after that.
So Guillen retired. Had an excellent play by Moses. And it'll bring on Julio Cruz. Cruiser went 0 for 4 last night. He's batting .227. No home runs, 8 RBIs. Back to the upper deck.
I think that takes more out of a hitter. When they hit a line shot like that at somebody and they make a great catch on it, they take that back to the bench, and boy, they'll grind and grit and everything on that for a while. Just like a pitcher makes a good pitch and someone hits a shot somewhere.
Yeah. Or the umpire misses it.
Well, then everybody's mad.
A ball and a strike. 1 out. Mike Moore, 3 and 6 coming in. Left center field. That ball is well hit. Moses on the run again. He will not get it. It's off the wall. Nice carom play into second base and save. Cruiser with a double. I'll tell you, the way the ball came off that wall to Moses, I thought they were going to have a close play at second.
Well, they did have a pretty close play at second base as that ball was hit well over Bradley's head. Now watch the carom. Moses right there. If he doesn't have to wind up to throw it, it is going to be close. And Cruz just did get there. He couldn't lollygag around after that play was right in front of him and he saw the replay. He had to hustle.
Very strong, very accurate throw by Moses. That is the first base hit of the ball game for the Sox, who trail 2-0. And here's John Cangelosi, grounded out to Reynolds at second base, his first time at bat. Moore, coming into this game, had not fared well in his career against the Sox, winning 1 and losing 5 to the Chicago club over his career. Ball 1. Cruz at second base. Cruz has now hit safely in 8 of the last 10 Sox games as a starter. And Carlton Fisk waiting on deck with the count of a ball and a strike on Cangelosi. The Mariners lead it 2-0. In the air, right center field. That ball is pretty well hit, but the right fielder is going to get there. Henderson makes the catch. Cruz will tag and safe at third base. And I'll tell you, that is a close play at third.
I'll tell you another thing is that man in right field has got a rocket on him. And Cruz had to hustle all the way. If Presley goes down to his knee, as accurate as that throw was, he is gone. The high fastball. Now Henderson getting back over and getting in position. And he can turn it loose. I'll tell you that. Cruz is going as hard as he can go. There you see, if that ball just was a shade to the left, boy, that is going to be even closer. He has got probably one of the strongest accurates arm in the league.
Put him right there. He and Barfield, Evans. All right, Fisk waves at a breaking ball. Carlton struck out in the first inning. Cruz at third, 2 down. And Moore is working from the stretch and set position rather than the windup. Fastball in. 1-1. I believe I understood Jimmy Anjo to say we're going to update all the scores when we come back for the bottom half of the third inning. So you can see who won and who lost and what's going on elsewhere. Foul back right below us for a count of a ball and 2 strikes on Carlton Fisk. Harold Baines is waiting on deck. You know, Don, we're talking about the great weather out here. I was talking to a cab driver last night going back to the hotel, and he was bemoaning the fact that there are no tourists here in Seattle. I mentioned what nice weather it was. Everybody is up in Vancouver, I guess, for the expo.
That's
exposition. Right. Whatever. Ball and 2 strikes to Pudge. Ground ball slowly at right side. Deflects a little bit off the dirt of the mound, but played by Reynolds. No runs, a wasted double by Cruz, who is left in the middle of the third. 2-0 Mariners.
There's some American League Finals. 5-3 Boston over the Brewers. 5-0 in the second inning. Kansas City over California. And the Tigers starting to roll around a little. 10-5 over Toronto. 11-2. Cleveland over Minnesota and Blyleven. 3-1. Yankees over Baltimore. 1-0. Texas over Oakland in the second. And there you see the Cardinals 1-0 over the Cubs in the first of a doubleheader. 6-5 Mets over Pittsburgh. 2-1 Philly over Montreal. And Atlanta 3-2 over Cincinnati. That's the final. And San Francisco 3-1 over Houston. And the Dodgers 3-2 over the Padres in the fourth.
All right, Don, and right now we'll go to the bottom half of the third inning with Phil Bradley, Al Davis, and Jim Presley coming on against Joel Davis. The Mariners are leading 2-0. A Presley home run, a walk to Phelps, who scored on a base hit by John Moses. Breaking ball has him swinging. Bradley reached on an error by Hewlett on a throw from third base in the first inning. Up high in the count, 1-1. Mariners 2 runs, 3 hits. The Sox no runs, 1 hit. Right side. Cruz throws him out easily, and there's 1 away. The Mariners might or might not have had more runs in the bottom half of the second inning. Ozzie Virgil, the third base coach, waved Spike Owen on home from second base. He was tagged out easily on Cangelosi's throw to Fisk. Alvin Davis lined to center field his first trip. Here's a young man who really enjoys playing the game of baseball. Always has a smile on his face. Pass to pitcher Davis and on through base hit. Well, Davis picks up base hit number 4 for the Mariners.
You know, Frank, it wasn't just because of that base hit, but I was getting ready to comment. I said, I've never seen too many good hitters that walked around with frowns on their faces.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And Alvin Davis is a good hitter.
Well, I said he enjoys the game of baseball, and that's probably why he enjoys it, because he can play it well. He hits well, plays well down there at first base. Here's Jim Presley. Hit his 12th home run of the season, leading off the second inning. Second homer in his many nights. He went 3 for 4 last night with a home run off of Cali. Breaking ball, missing, ball 1.
I don't think Fisk really appreciates that call by John Hirschbeck. You're right there. That's where it was, John. Now, why didn't you call it?
To no strikes.
That second game, Frank, in Chicago this afternoon, it was 3-2. The Cubs had 2 good ball games. 1-0 first game Cardinals, 3-2 second game Cubs.
I don't know whether Michael was there to manage today or not.
I think Vuk was there today.
So he split the day into well-played games. Foul ball, and the count will be 2-1.
Just watching from the center field camera shot, I have not noticed John Hirschbeck do this all the time, but he is on the move at the last minute. And I'll show you what I mean. He will move down as Davis starts his delivery. I don't remember John doing that. John's a good umpire. You get a variance in the American League umpire say. Now, some will just work from that position, even from an inside protector. Now, watch the last minute when he moves.
And the pitch fouled away. That little move right there where he ducks down.
Yeah. Some will get down a little bit quicker. And you just saw a hanging curveball that Mr. Presley fouled back.
Presley's home run in the second inning extended his hitting streak to 8. Ken Phelps is on deck. Alvin Davis down at first, 1 away, and the Mariners leading by a score of 2-0. Right back to Davis, may get 2. Bad throw. They don't get anybody. Davis throwing the ball away. Fielder's choice error.
Well, you can see Cruz pointing to Guillen all the way. Now, this is something a pitcher has to know right away. He's pointing to Guillen, and now he throws it behind Ozzie. But number one, you've got to know who's covering on the double play if that ball is hit back to you. Or you're in deep stew, and that's exactly what happened.
What happened to Don? Pitcher forget to find out, or what?
Well, I don't know what happened right there, but you could see that Joel was totally confused on what to do, and Cruz was pointing at Guillen. Your natural reflex and reaction on a play like that would be to go to the second baseman with a right-hand hitter up there. Unless they switch, and you've got to know who's coming. Before every pitch, you're supposed to turn around and look back there, and they will tell you, hey, a ball hit back to you, I'm covering. And that's it. So there should never be anything happen like that. You should always know who's covering.
Second Sox error of the game. And instead of having the side retired, or at least 1 out, there's, or at least 2 outs, there's only 1 out, and runners at first and second. Phelps walked and scored in the second inning. He is quite unhappy at his role here in Seattle right now. platooning as the DH, or alternating, not really platooning even. 2 balls and no strikes. On deck hitter is Dave Henderson.
You know, that's kind of interesting because over the last few years, when the White Sox have come in here, we have hardly seen Ken Phelps. And like I say, all we've seen is put him on some of the most awesome displays in batting practice. We just haven't seen him.
That is ball 3. Well, he's 1 pitch away from your seeing him walk to load the bases and not swing the bat.
Well, Joel's has his mechanics for the last few starts have been really botched up. I mean, you can just see even in the course of this game, he's throwing different from pitch to pitch.
That is ball 4. The bases are loaded. That'll move Davis to third, Presley to second, and Phelps walks for the second time. 3 walks given up by Joel Davis. And he'll work to Dave Henderson with the bases loaded and 1 out. And Tony La Russa there in the corner of the dugout, and seated next to him, Dave Duncan. Henderson lined out to cruise his first trip. They're still shading him over to that right side, Doc. Angelosi bit to the right side of straightaway center. Breaking ball bounced down the third base line. That's foul.
Did you see the spin on that ball on the second hop it
Yes.
took? It started to kick back fair.
Really? I was going to say, I almost said there, you better slap at it and do something. That ball is going to come back fair. I thought it was. Never know when you beat a ball down on this artificial surface. No balls, 1 strike. The bases are loaded, 1 away, and the Mariners leading 2-0 here in the third. Bullpen is quiet. Strike. Got the outside part of the plate. Good pitch from Davis. So Joel in a jam, trying to work himself out of it. Bases loaded. Davis, Presley, and Phelps. Now Henderson now is going to make Davis wait. Davis made him wait. 0-2 count. Breaking pitch fouled away. Count holds 0-2. Henderson's been a pretty hot hitter of late as you look to the on-deck circle and spike on. 6 games in a row, 13 out of 14, batting .357, 20 hits in his last 56 at-bats. In the air, left center field. That's going to clean the bases. That will bring everybody home as the ball goes to the wall. 3 runs are going to score. Cangelosi's throw back holds Henderson at third base. A triple, 3 runs across, and the Mariners lead 5-0.
Well, 0-2, and he throws a fastball from the middle of the plate in, and all Henderson does is turn on it, drive it up the alley in left center, and once it gets by Cangelosi, it's depending now how many guys are going to score. And by the time John gets it back in, 3 score on the triple, and it is 5-0, and now Dave Schmidt will get up and start to throw in the Sox bullpen.
Henderson down at third base. That is his second triple of the year, giving him 28 runs batted in. And Schmidt in the bullpen. And Hewlett at the mound.
Al Hewlett, I'm sure, looked into the dugout, and they got word to go in and talk to him a little bit, taking up as much time. And John Hirschbeck says, let's go.
Spike Owen had a base hit in the second inning. That was the one we wondered about the official score on. The one hopper fielded by Cruz, then he threw the ball away, or threw the ball to a point where it could not be caught by Guillen for a play at second. La Russa's on his way out now. You saw a moment ago Hewlett buying quite a bit of time at the mound. Let's see if he bought enough time to get Schmidt ready, or if La Russa wants to make that change. Looks like La Russa's barking just a bit out there, Don.
Well, he's a little hot, and he has a right to be. On that double play ball hit back to him by Presley and threw it away, and all of a sudden it's led to 3 runs and still only 1 out, and you've got Henderson standing at third. So indeed that will get Tony's dander up a little bit as Dave Schmidt comes on. A break in the action with Seattle leading it 5-0. Well, we have a pitching change as Dave Schmidt comes on. Dave with a record of 0-2 and a 4.70 ERA. Schmidt making his 19th appearance of the year. And David has a pair of saves. He's worked in 38 2/3 innings, allowed 45 hits, 22 runs, 20 earned. He's given up 4 home runs. He's walked 11 and struck out 27. So Dave Schmidt has to come on and restore some order right here in the Mariner third, as they have scored 2 in the second, 3 so far here in the third, and lead it 5-0.
We'll just get a note here. Davis threw 53 pitches, Don. So Dave Schmidt will be working to Spike Owen. With a runner at third, Henderson, and still only 1 out. And you look back on this inning, Bradley grounded out, then Al Davis singled, then the ground ball, one hopper right back to Joel Davis, and his bad throw to second base for an error. Could have been a double play, could have been out of the inning. But as it is, 3 runs were across, and the Mariners are still very much alive. Dave Schmidt pitched 3 nights ago against California, 1 2/3 innings. Gave up 2 runs, 4 hits, struck out a couple of guys. Dave Henderson at third base. That was not one of Schmidt's better outings, but prior to that he had a super outing, retiring the last 10 men in a row and saving a win for Joel Davis. That was the 8-5 ball game against Oakland. Schmidt pitched the last 4 innings, allowed 1 hit, walked nobody, and struck out 6. Ball 1 to Spike Owen. Infield in with 1 out, runner at third. Mariners on top, 5-zip. 2 balls and no strikes. Well, they squeezed last night, did the Mariners, for the first time this year, and then they had another one backfire on a pitch out, so I think they are now 1 out of 5 in squeeze situations. Bouncer right side. That'll hold the runner at third, and Cruz will go to first base. 2 down. Henderson holding. Cruz looked over there, saw Henderson not coming, and threw Owen out. Two away to Bob Kearney, the catcher. Kearney walked in the second inning. Now with 2 outs, the infield can back off, and they really back off deep. Kearney does not run that well. Both Cruz and Guillen back in the outfield. No balls and a strike. Harold Reynolds is the on-deck batter.
Kearney was standing over there trying to get as close behind home plate as he could to watch Dave Schmidt pitch to Spike Owen. He threw him the first 2 palm balls that were balls, and then threw him a fastball that he bounced out on. Threw Kearney the palm ball. He was way out in front. There's another one.
And nice play by Guillen. If he can throw him out, the run will score, and he's safe at first. Base hit for Kearney, a run batted in, his 7th of the year. And the Mariners now lead 6-0.
Well, he came back with another one, and he just found the right spot. It was a good pitch by Dave Schmidt, but when you find those kind of holes, look at the throw. There's that artificial surface throw by Ozzie. Kearney had to hustle hard all the way down the line.
And he can close the book on Joel Davis tonight. 2 1/3 innings, 6 runs, 5 hits, 3 walks, and no strikeouts. Harold Reynolds 0 for 2 is bounced out to Walker and fly to center. Caught by Hewlett. That'll retire the side, but the Mariners score 4 times, and at the end of 3, it's Seattle 6 and the Sox nothing. Trail 6-0. But the Sox have been coming from behind in ball games of late. Let's see if they can do it tonight. Still a long way to go. Baines flied to left, his first at bat. And a base hit for Harold as he lines one out over second. The Sox second hit. Harold checks in with Eddie Brinkman, the first base coach. And Greg Walker, the batter. Walker grounded out to the first baseman Davis, to the pitcher Moore covering his first at bat. Strike 1. Little base hit a moment ago. Harold Baines now has had at least 1 hit in 10 of his last 12 ball games. 16 for 43. You want to figure it up. 2-1 by. 0-2. Mike Moore in his 14th start of the year. He has pitched 5 complete games coming in. Nobody in the league has started more than 14 games this year. Caught by the second baseman. I'll tell you that Reynolds has been finding the baseball the last couple of nights, Don. Or the baseball has been finding him.
That they've had that atom ball going. He gets the ball in on Walker. Didn't hit it hard, but he hit it right at the second baseman. Of course, Baines wasn't that far off the bag at first and able to get back. He starts. He says, "Whoops, I saw you there last night a couple of times."
Yeah. Let's see. Reynolds last night had 8 chances in the ball game. Jerry Hairston walked his first trip. So far tonight, Reynolds has had 4 chances. 2 assists, 2 putouts. 2 balls and no strikes. Ron Kittle waiting in the on-deck circle. Mariners out in front by a score of 6-0. This Mariner ball club has been scoring a lot of runs of late. 3 balls and no strikes. In addition to Mike Moore, Mike Smithson of Minnesota and Frank Viola of Minnesota have also started 14 games this year. That's a strike, and it's 3-1. Ball 4. So Hairston walks for the second time tonight. That'll push Baines down to second base, and with 1 out, the batter Ron Kittle. Moore's now struck out 2 and walked 2. That allowed 2 base hits. Kittle struck out in the second inning. Did he go around? He did. That pitch well out of the strike zone. No balls and 1 strike. Mariners lead 6-0. Inside 1-1. Baines down at second base. Hairston at first. 1 away. Nice play by Kearney, digging it out of the dirt. And plate umpire John Hirschbeck will check the baseball, take it out of play. 2 balls and a strike on Kittle. Liner base hit into left field. Baines will come around to score. Hairston will stop at second base, and Ron Kittle has driven in his 25th run of the year. So the Sox are on the board. It is now 6-1 with Timmy Hewlett scheduled up.
Well, they keep trying to work that fastball. That time they didn't get it in on him enough as he lines it over Owen's head. They have no chance to get Baines, but they hold Harrison at second.
And now Timmy Hewlett. Hewlett is tied for the league lead in triples with Spike Owen also appearing in this ball game tonight. Both men have 5. Hard slider from Moore. Wade Boggs of Boston leads the league in hitting at 389. Kirby Puckett of Minnesota has the most hits in the league going into tonight's action, 93 base hits, and third in the league in hitting at 359 behind Boggs and Yount. Oh, what a pitch that was. Hewlett didn't think that was a strike. He caught the outside corner. 0-2 count. There are your base runners. Hairston at second, Kittle at first. And 1 out. Moore wants Kearney to go through the signs again. Reshuffle that deck. Fouled off. I thought he fouled it. Ozzie Guillen waiting on deck, and he did foul it. Wally Joyner of California leads the league in home runs with 18. followed by Joe Canseco of Oakland and Jesse Barfield of Toronto, each of whom has 16. Canseco leads in RBIs with 57. Mattingly at the Yankees second with 52. Joyner has 47. 0-2 count. Struck him out. The third strikeout for Moore. We got some folks from Streator, Illinois here at the Kingdome tonight. And here's that last pitch. Sinking down and away from Hewlett. That's been the strikeout pitch for Moore tonight. Ozzie Guillen steps in, lined out to the center fielder. John Moses made an excellent play on the ball. Look at him going for that pitch. Ricky Henderson at the Yankees was leading the league in runs scored with 56, followed by Puckett with 50. Mattingly at Boggs each have 18 doubles. You mentioned Owen and Hewlett tied for the league lead in triples with 5. Hard shot, fair ball, fair ball. That's a base hit, and that'll get 1 run in. Hairston comes in to score. Hewlett, or rather Kittle, stops at third base, and Guillen with a double. Hard shot, just fair. Here it is again. He went down and got that low pitch, lined it just by the first baseman Alvin Davis, just fair. It caroms back toward the infield as Hairston comes in to score. Henderson runs the ball down as Hairston crosses the plate. And Ozzie Guillen with a double and his 17th run batted in. Runners second and third, 2 down for Julio Cruz. Mariners now lead 6-2. The 6th 2-base hit of the year for Guillen. So Kittle at third, Guillen at second, and Cruz, the big man right now. If he can get a base hit, you're right back in the ball game. That pitch is low. 2 balls and no strikes. Cruiser doubled to left center field in the third. Got the first hit of the game. John Cangelosi would be up next. There's Kanji. There are 2 outs. Now Cruz wants time. Fans greet Julio here with mixed reactions. He played here for a good many years. Six, parts of 2 others. Foul back. Well, new ball comes into play. The count on the Cruiser. Strike 2 call. 2-2. Fastball that time. Big pitch right here for the right-hander Moore. In the dirt, nice play by Kearney. Full count, 3-2. Julio Cruz, originally signed by the California Angels. We look now at Mike Moore. Hewlett, the lead runner. at third base. Again at second, or rather Kittle, the lead runner at third. Again at second. And Cruz right now could do a lot of damage with a base hit, and more having a little problem getting together with his catcher Kearney. Now we're set. Walked in. The bases are loaded. The third walk given up, and that'll bring the pitching coach Phil Regan out to the mound. 3 walks and 3 strikeouts given up by Moore. The Sox have scored 2 runs here in the 4th inning. There is no activity in the Mariner bullpen, so Regan just out there to try to settle him down a bit. Tony La Russa watching intently from the Sox dugout. So Regan has his say. And John Cangelosi will become the man of the hour, hopefully, as he steps in with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Cangelosi tonight is grounded out to second and flied out to right field. He had a key hit in last night's game in the 9th inning. And back over second base, base hit. 1 run will cross the plate. 2 runs will be in, and the Sox are right back in the ball game. A clutch hit by Cangelosi. Driving home, Kittle and Guillen. Cruz stopping at second base, and cause for celebration in the Sox dugout.
Well, he just looks fastball, got it right up over the plate, and drilled it right back up the middle. Not a bad pitch to look at when you have a guy like Cruz walk in front of you. You know that he's struggling a little bit. There it is again.
So a big hit by John Cangelosi. That'll get the Mariner bullpen up. Fisk becomes the 9th batter of the inning. Runners first and second. 2 outs. A 6-4 ball game now. Mariners lead. And he takes the fastball on the inside part of the plate for a strike. Sox have scored 4 runs on 4 hits in the inning. Tying runs are on base. Fouled off, strike 2. Mariners get their bullpen up. That's Lee Gooderman, the left-hander who was the losing pitcher in last night's ball game. Lee Gooderman. But I'm sure Williams will go as long with Moore as he possibly feels like he can. Now with the cruiser dancing off second, Moore steps off the slab, steps off again.
Now that brings Reynolds in a little bit because Cruz could get all the room he wanted to.
The outfield is spread out for Fisk. And it's a ball. 1-2. They play the center fielder Moses straight up. Bradley, the left fielder, straight up and deep, and the right fielder Henderson is deep and a bit toward the gap in right center. Infield plays into pull with Owen the shortstop back deep in the hole. Moore seems a bit uncertain of himself. 2 on, 2 gone. Now he has a sign. almost hit him. 2-2 the count. Dick Williams, the skipper of the Mariners. Bill Regan with his arms on his knees down there next to him. That was Regan that you got the best look at. Former Sox pitcher, by the way, retired baseball as a Sox pitcher. Foul ball. And now Kearney will go out to his pitcher. Mike Moore, big Oklahoman, 6'4", 205 pounds, born in Eakley, Oklahoma. Mike Moore, the first player picked in the free agent draft in 1981. First player in the nation. Ground ball, shortstop side, fielded by Owen. He throws Fisk out, but a productive inning for the White Sox. They score 4 runs on 4 hits, and in the middle of the 4th, it is now the Mariners 6, Chicago 4.
Well, the White Sox jump back into it 6-4, and a reminder that most baseball fans have probably dreamed of playing with stars like Minoso, Pierce, or Skowron. And your dreams can become reality at the 2nd annual White Sox Rodman and Renshaw Fantasy Camp and Investment Seminar. That will be next February 1 to 8, and you can attend a week-long baseball fantasy camp in Sarasota, Florida, plus receive up-to-date investment information from the experts at Rodman and Renshaw. So for more information, call 924-1000.
All right, Don, and here we go to the bottom half of the 4th inning. John Moses will lead it off. Just looking back on Moses tonight. Grounded out to Hewlett at 3rd and singled to drive in run number 2 in the ball game for the Mariners. Well, the Sox cutting into that lead with 4 runs in the top half of the inning. Now Dave Schmidt's got to hold the Mariners. Off-speed pitch away.
Yeah, their scoreboard went out here, so they're going to the big one now, Frank.
All right.
We don't have to take our shoes off and everything.
I mean, I got to put mine back on.
There you go.
Spoil sport. Walker has it. Tossed to Schmidt, and that is all for Moses. 1 out.
I tell you, people never realize, and I know we don't either at times, until a scoreboard goes out, how much you rely on that scoreboard when you're doing a ball game on the balls and strikes.
You really do. It becomes a habit. I'll sit here sometimes and I'll keep it on the fingers of my left hand. I get
Are you that good?
No, not really. Gives me something to do sometimes. Exercises my fingers.
There you go.
Bradley fouls one away, and that's strike 1. That's a little finger right there.
All right. I'm going to watch you.
All right. Alvin Davis watching from the on-deck circle, but not me. You know, for years I carried a ball and strike indicator in my briefcase. I have no idea where it is now. 1-1. It would always be there. The scoreboard would go out, and I'd forget about it. I finally just took it out. Now the first finger for that strike, thumb and first finger. See there?
Gotcha.
And the little finger for a ball. Looks like I'm ready to go bowling, doesn't it? The bat as he strikes out. I tell you, that's the 3rd time in the 2 games we've seen a Mariner hitter throw the bat all the way out to shortstop. I don't know whether it's something that they are different grip they're taking on the bat, or whether they run out of pine tar here, or what happened.
Well, they get that barrel of the bat, that big end going, and they just can't hold up, and the best thing they do is just turn it loose. 2
down, and Al Davis, the batter. Davis started the 4-run third inning with a 1-out single to center field. He's walked 4 times, 5th in the American League. I imagine a lot of those are intentional or semi-intentional. Ball 1. 2 down and nobody on. Mariners lead by a score of 6-4. Schmidt relieved Davis in the third inning. Out of play. And the count is 1-1. Davis went 2 1/3 innings, 6 runs, 5 hits, 3 walks, and no strikeouts. Base is empty, 1-1 on Davis. Ball and 2 strikes. Waiting on deck, Jim Presley. Hey, while I think of it, our game is going to start a half hour earlier tomorrow night than it has the last 2 nights. So I'll be looking for us at 9 o'clock Chicago time. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Guillen and Cruz are both playing in the outfield against Al Davis. They are both way, way back. 2-2 pitch. Full count. Well, you can see right there how far back Guillen and Cruz are. That white line represents what would be the start of the grass, the outfield grass in a normal field. Hard shot to Walker. He'll take it himself. And that retires the side in order at the end of 4 innings of play. The Mariners 6 and the Sox 4. Every Monday night, Sox home game in 1986 is a Sox half-price night. All box reserved and general admission tickets are half price. And our next half-price night of the year will be June 23rd against the Minnesota Twins. We go to the 5th inning, and here's Don.
All right, Frank. Harold Baines pops the first pitch left side. Coming over Presley. Might have a play, and he can't get there. The count is 0-1. Baines tonight started everything off in the 4th inning with a leadoff single, came around to score, and his first time at bat he flied to left. 1 for 2. He right there has hit in 10 of the last 12 games.
Baines involved in the controversial play in last night's ball game. Was he inside or outside the baseline? Going down to first when the pitcher threw the ball away. Baines asked me at breakfast this morning. He said, was I outside the baseline? I said, yep, you were. End of conversation.
1 ball and 1 strike.
What a break there for the Sox.
And the count goes to 2-1 with Walker on deck. He'll be followed by Hairston. The alley, left center. Bradley moving in a hurry. He can't get it. It'll go to the wall. Baines on his way to second base, and he'll make it with a double.
Well, this is such a different ball club when Baines is in one of his hitting streaks. Let's take another look at it. Pitch away from him, and he goes with the pitch very well up the gap in left center field. You'll see Bradley giving chase, just cannot catch up with it. Ball bounces high off the wall, and Harold Baines into second base with a double.
Now we'll get some action. A right-hander and a left-hander get up to throw. Guterman will be the left-hander. Walker fouls it left side, and the count is 0-1. I don't know if that's Mark Koosman this early, the right-hander or not. see his number yet. 0-1 the count. Baines at second. Nobody out. Harrison on deck. As Walker gets the job done. Davis goes to the bag. He does it himself, and Baines goes to third. And here's Jerry Harrison. He has walked twice with Ron Kittle on deck.
Right-hander down there is Hoosman. Lee Gooderman and Mark Hoosman. Gooderman, the left-hander. We saw both of them last night. We saw the whole bullpen.
We saw everyone last night.
5 of them.
Now here's Harrison, who has walked twice. Baines at third. 1 out.
What Dick Williams say he's going to have his eyes checked? He said, "I can't believe what I'm seeing."
We're talking about somebody's glasses the other day. That was prior to the game. There's a base hit over the head of Owen, and Harrison aboard. Baines will score at 6-5 Seattle. And that'll bring on Ron Kittle.
It is again. Line shot right over the leaping Owen out into left center field. So the Sox now trail by a run as Baines crosses the plate. They're basic baseball. Baines opens with a double. Walker moves him over to third base. Base hit gets him in. Inning still alive.
And Ron Kittle, the hitter. He's 1 for 2, singled and scored his last time at bat. Now Harrison at first. It's a 6-5 Seattle lead. Yeah, Dick was talking about, or listening to the conversation about how somebody was getting their glasses checked. There's the breaking pitch for the strike, and 0-1 the count. He said, "I had to do the same thing." He said, I wasn't believing what I was seeing.
I think that's a great line.
And the other breaking pitch outside to count 1-1.
When Kittle drove in the first run of the ball game tonight for the Sox, it was his second RBI since May 24th. He's been in quite a slump, but hopefully he's out of it.
One ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on, and 1 run in here in the top of the 5th inning. Mariners lead at 6-5. And the count 1-2. Moore has thrown a lot of pitches. Down low, 2-2 the count. Timmy Hewlett on deck. And it's 3-2. And you can just about stick a fork in Mr. Moore. Could be his last hitter. Looks like they're going to come back with a breaking pitch. See what Harrison does. He will draw a throw. Harrison does not go, and the fly ball down the left field line. In the corner, this ball is gone. Home run, Ron Kittle, and the White Sox have taken a 7-6 lead.
Well, as I said, hopefully the slump is over. That is Kittle's first home run since April 30th. And And that puts the Sox out in front, and Busch Beer will donate $250 to Shy Sox kids to fight cancer in children on that home run for Ron Kittle. Here it is again. That pitch stayed up there. It was a breaking pitch. It stayed up. Supposed to have been down, and Kittle puts it down in the seats in left field. That for Ron Kittle, his 7th home run, giving him 3 RBIs tonight.
And Timmy Hewlett takes his strike, and the count 0-1.
And giving the Sox a 7-6 lead, by the way.
Yes, sir. That's low. The count 1 ball and 1 strike. Moore staying just strictly with the fastball and the breaking pitch, and really doesn't have an off-speed pitch like a change of any kind. Boy, if you are not pinpoint, you can get yourself in a lot of trouble. And that's where he has been tonight. That's out of play, and the count 2-2.
And I'll tell you, it's taken Kittle a long time to get a start on his second 100 home runs. He hit number 100 on April 30th. That's his 101st. But what an opportune time.
Struck him out. Well, Hewlett down on strikes. Strikeout number 3, and that will bring on Ozzie Guillen. Make that 4 strikeouts.
Here it is, pitch down and in on Hewlett, moving down and in. So 3 walks and 4 strikeouts now by Mike Moore.
Guillen lines it foul down in the Mariner bullpen. 0-1 the count. Bouncer foul, first base side, and the count moves to 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes the count. That's hit deep right field, way back. Henderson turns around, it's gone. Home run, Ozzie Guillen, and it's an 8-6 ball game.
Well, that'll be Ozzie's second home run of the year, and Busch Beer donated another $250 to the Shy Sox kids to help fight cancer in children on Ozzie Guillen's home run. And we'll take another look at it. Pitch up, let her high, and there it goes. See it from another angle. Guillen gets down, starts his turn around first base, sees that ball in the seats, and gives a little victory sign there. He's happy.
Here's Julio Cruz as he takes inside. Well, the bullpen for the Mariners has been a disaster as the breaking pitch is in and over. And Dick Williams does not want to go down there unless he has to, and he's going to. Mike Moore is going to learn something out of this one way or the other. There's the first changeup that he's thrown tonight, and he threw it for a strike. Want the fastball inside. Missing low, the count 2-2. So the Sox 4 runs in the 4th and 4 so far here in the 5th. Down low, and the count 3-2. With John Cangelosi on deck. If you're Mike Moore, you got to say, I don't care if they hit the ball out of the ballpark anymore. I got to throw a strike and get out of this inning. They got to hit it at somebody, and he can't throw a strike.
Williams will finally go to his bullpen, I feel sure.
Well, he's going to now. He's going to go the left-hander.
And that'll be Lee Guterman.
And I think he was just hoping that the big guy could finish the inning and go 5 also, because if the ball club could come back and score any runs in the bottom of the 5th inning and hold it, why, he had a chance to pick up a win. So he will leave. Guterman comes on. We have a break in the action, and the White Sox lead it 8